magic makers, and welcome. This is Lisa McCardle, your inner wisdom awakener and your consciousness expander. If you like what I'm doing, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Your feedback, your input is what inspires me. So we're here today to discuss the full moon in Leo that's happening on February the 8th at 11:34 p.m. Pacific time. That's 2:34 a.m. Eastern time on February the 9th. So right in the middle of the night, we're moving into this Leo full moon, the energy of which has been upon us for several days. It's pretty active, it's pretty alive, and many of you might have experienced a deep lull before this energy came in. It was almost like the quiet before the activation, I guess. Some people are finding themselves in illness. I like to call that cellular reconstruction, exhaustion, things like that. Just kind of a dip. And so if you're still in the dip, know that the raise up, the rising up is coming. It's coming quickly, and it's coming with this full moon, which is pretty full capacity is what I want to say. So full moons always represent completion. It's a really wonderful time for you to look back over when Leo was in its new moon phase. Look back even when it was in the sun phase, which would have been around 6 months ago. And just to take a little temperature of what's transformed, what have you experienced, what might be different in your life over the course of these 6 months. And really what we want to come into is finding the celebration. Like, what can you celebrate? Leo traditionally is a lot about celebration. Leo, it's the lion. It's full of energy. It likes to take the center stage. Leo likes to be seen and to express. So how you can do that, no matter where Leo falls into your own personal chart, is by celebrating you. And this full moon also brings with it a really amazing opportunity to take a foot up. Like, what is your message? Who are you willing to be? What are you willing to become? Who are you willing to become? How do you really want to express yourself in your greatest gifts, your greatest knowledge? You're really going to be given more of a 2020, here we are, clear vision with this full moon energy of, what's your greatest service? What's your greatest contribution? And what comes with this energy is also almost like a fearless willingness to step up, to step out, and to step into the fullness of the expression of that. That's what this moon is coming with. And if you've been in that little bit of a lull, and I like to think of it as the reorganization time, it's kind of so you can get clear, so you can get really clear of what your message is, so that when you take that firm stand, or what is it you're willing to stand in, with this energy that's coming, then you can really be in the full proclamation, is the word that wants to come, of who you are and what you stand for. The Leo is very proud, and it's willing to shine. Like, the opportunity is for you to step in and be willing to shine your brilliance. I'd love to talk a little bit about the difference between selfism and selfish. I like to reframe selfish into selfism, and that's a lot of what this moon is bringing too. It's the opportunity to really be in the celebration of self and the expression of self, and people can misinterpret that a lot as being selfish or ego-driven or things like that. So we always want to check those things, but I'm also really getting that just really giving permission to move into selfism, giving yourself the opportunity to be in your fullest expression. Like, most of us know how to be selfless, and we perceive or confuse caring for ourselves, or celebrating ourselves, or proclaiming ourselves, or honoring ourselves as being selfish. So I'm building a bridge in the middle, and I'm calling it selfism. And I'm inspiring you to move into a greater resonance with your selfism, because The relationship with you is the primary relationship. It's becoming really strongly that there's only two relationships that have any significance. It's the relationship between you and you to you, and you to source itself. And even ahead of that of our significant others, of our children, of our families. I know that's kind of an intense thing to hear sometimes, but it really is true. Like, put your mask on first, and then you're going to be in greater service to those that are dependent upon you, are or looking to you for support, for love, for wisdom, for guidance, whatever it is. So let's practice some self-ism, and this full moon is bringing the perfect opportunity for you to be loud and proud in the proclamation of who you are and who you're becoming. It's also a great opportunity to bring your dreams into reality. Now, the foundation of 2020 itself is a lot about moving out of the dreamer and into the, I don't want to say the doer, because it isn't always about pushing the cart uphill. It isn't always about like, how much more can you do? Who can you do? It's about a profound commitment to your being and allowing your dreaming to move through your presence. And yeah, there's some divinely inspired action in that. Like, sometimes you got to get up and you got to do something, but it isn't pushing the engine through doing. It's being and moving from the dreaming to the creator. That's what's coming. And this full moon is really, really, really supporting and sustaining that. Little cautionary statements. It could be awfully fiery. The Leo sign tends to be fiery. It can be a little bit drama-filled. It's very passionate. So know that those energies are coming through, and full moon itself brings that vitality with it. So know that those are coming in full blast, which means stay in your lane. Maybe you need to check yourself with your presence and with your responses. Nice deep breath. So you can be really calm and really present. And if something is fiery or charging or activating you, then see if you can use that in a productive way. And if not, then maybe you take a little time out. So just know that energy is here. And it's also this balance between Leo and Aquarius, right? They're opposite signs. And it's really this opportunity to come into this navigation of like the space between your head and your heart, really moving from your passion of your heart and your desires and your intellectual being and your ability to see things through. And like, how can you bridge a gap and bridge the gap and balance the space between your head and your heart so you can be optimizing your service really at a higher level? That's what we're always asking for. And there's a couple, in my meditation, there's a couple of key words, key things that came through. One of the words that I drew from my angel deck was willingness. And that can apply to you in any way that is unique for you. For me, the willingness piece has come to be in great surrender, which is also one of the words that came through. So we're going to use willingness as the overarch of the umbrella, and then these four spokes of it that came through: surrender, non-attachment. Are you willing maybe even to give honor for everything you know and everything you've tried and everything you've experienced, and kind of just push it aside to say, show me what is true here and now, and to take that real pregnant pause to move from a divine knowing, from an inner wisdom, from a, oh, this is my next step. You have to take that surrender, practice non-attachment, have clear indicators of the dream, the vision, the outcome, but surrender the pathway of which to get there, and go into some of that quiet space and just ask to be shown and to be revealed in the most authentic manner for you. That's coming in very strongly. Also, resilience. There's been some shockwaves that have gone through collectively and in large scale and small scale. And I don't know anyone that hasn't been affected on some level by a bit of a shockwave, something they didn't see coming. And I really think of these opportunities when these shockwaves come through as an opportunity to get really clear about where your value system is. What do you hold is important. And I know I've felt these chakra waves move through in the last few weeks, as have, you know, many of us in community in this world, really. So resilience, how resilient are you? How can you experience the shock wave and come back to self, come back to resilience, come back to a grounded space and state, and come back to self and ask, okay, this shock wave just moved through me or through my community or through the collective, whatever it is, or maybe all of it. How can I find my center once again? And how willing am I to be resilient as these shock waves move through? There's going to be more. There's going to be more and more shock waves. I keep getting this. So, and then the next one was longevity. It's talking about longevity, making plans or align now for the long game. So if you're looking for like immediate results, immediate response, like what amazing thing can I do now that will have this thing now? My guidance was talking about let's play the long game. Like what's the long game for you? What's the longevity? What creations or manifestations or allowance as you're practicing your selfism are you willing to kind of get into alignment with that will sustain and support you for the long game, to create longevity? They're also talking about longevity within your own physical well-being and your spiritual well-being. Like maybe it isn't so much about quick fixes and fast pathways for manifestation, for well-being, like, you know, fad diets, whatever those things are that we tend to lean into because we want it now, we want it now, we want it now. Can you take one step each and every day to bring you into your greatest desire of what you want and really set your tone or your attention for the longevity, the long game? Not just the quick wins that sometimes can come in a flash, like a flash pan, and then they're gone. But really, if you're setting your attention for the longevity and the long game, they're saying that it's because you're seeking sustainability. You're seeking not just the quick fix, but you're seeking the eternal fix, like the eternal correction, the eternal redirection. So look for longevity. And then the final aspect of this was love. Seeking for love, especially when there's shock waves coming through and there's inquiry into next steps and the, you know, what could be perceived as this drama or brilliance of this full moon. Like are you willing to come to all things from an innate sense, an innate desire, an innate truth, an innate expression of love itself, of love for all things? As we're becoming new humans, what we're attuning ourselves to is greater connection, less separation, and the pathway, the bridge really to get there is through love. So can you love even that which brings you discomfort? Can you love even that which you do not understand? Can you love even that you perceive is not healed, well, whole, or perfect as of yet? Can you expand upon your love in all ways so that your experience and your expression here in your humanness, your human expression, your human experience might be able to serve you at a higher level and maybe even bring you greater pleasure and really have greater impact, right? If we're optimizing as much love as we can through our physicality, through our emotional, mental, spiritual states, then we are being our greatest purveyor of light. And then we're really, really fulfilling and sustaining our purpose here as humans on this planet in this huge transformation of consciousness. So be love, be love, and seek for love in all ways you can, especially those that are the most uncomfortable. So if you like what you're seeing, again, please subscribe, like, comment, or share below. I am thrilled to have you here in my community, and I'm sending my love from my heart to yours. Blessings.